We are on track to 1,000 subs. Man, that's a crazy thing to say at the time of recording this. We're at just shy of 800, 792 to be exact. And it seems like we're growing by close to 100 a week. That's the greatest thing. I didn't think that it would happen this quick. Just so you guys know, I've always set goals. And one of my biggest goals for this channel is to see if I can get it monetized. For those of you who don't know, the bare minimum for monetization is 4,000 hours of view time and 1,000 subscribers. We hit the view time about 2 months ago, and we're coming up quick on the subscribers. So, thank you for the support. Now let's begin. Last time, we saw Jessie and James pay the price of membership in Team Rocket, by Jessie having to give up 2 of her Pokemon and James having to give up 1. Even though the 2 didn't like it, they complied. Butch and Cassidy also gave them orders. James was ordered to go to Mount Pyre, on the way stopping to take on Team Aqua at the Weather Institute and challenging the 4-Tree Gym and earning him his 6th badge. While Jessie was ordered to return to the secret base on Route 111, but she instead headed into the desert for some intense training. Jessie made a new friend while she was there who gifted her a new Pokemon, and she had also discovered a fossil. Upon leaving the desert, Jessie headed to Rustboro to get the fossil regenerated. But Cassidy decided to follow up with Jessie, and when she couldn't get a hold of Jessie, Cassidy decided to personally check up on her. Can Jessie make it back to the secret base in time? What awaits James at Mount Pyre? Find out today. We pick up with Jessie. She is heading back to Mauville City. She decides to stop off in Verdanturf Town at the Pokemon Center. Once arriving, she checks her Pokemon into the center and is met with Nurse Joy, who says she has a message for her. It's from Meowth to call immediately. Jessie contacts Meowth, who is in a panic, and asks where she's been. Jessie says she's been training. Why? What's the problem? Meowth says Cassidy has been trying to get a hold of her at the base, but because she couldn't, she decided to check up on Jessie in person. Jessie starts to panic. If she doesn't get back, it could cost her a Pokemon, or they could send her back to Kanto. Meowth tells Jessie that she has some times. He tells Jessie he gave Cassidy a GPS that would take her the long way, but she has to hurry. Cassidy left a day ago and will arrive soon. Jessie wastes no time, heading out at once her Pokemon are ready. It takes her about a day, but she does manage to get back to the area that the base is in, and on her way there, Jessie spots, off in the distance, Cassidy driving toward the base. Wasting no time, Jessie decides to take the quick path down the mountainside. Jessie struggles as she is on foot and Cassidy is traveling by car. Though it was close, Jessie manages to get back to the base just seconds before Cassidy pulls up. Once inside, the base is still a mess. This works in her advantage, as it seems some wild Pokemon got in and damaged the power supply to the base. Once Cassidy arrives inside, she jumps on Jessie about her failure to comply with answering the calls. Jessie points out that the shape of the base that it's in. Jessie makes up a story on how when she got back, some wild Pokemon had moved in and damaged the power supply to the base, and wrecked most of it. Jessie states that she has also been trying to re-establish connection, but as she is not tech-savvy like Meowth, it's taken her some time to do so. Surprisingly, Cassidy buys this excuse. Not because Jessie is convincing, but because Cassidy believes that Jessie is too incompetent to do anything technology-based on her own, which, to be fair, is mostly true. Jessie lets out a sigh of relief, but then asks why Cassidy is there. Has she come to take another one of her Pokemon? Cassidy laughs. Oh heavens no. Your current team of 4 doesn't interest me in the slightest. Jessie thinks, team of 4? She must not know about the ones that she has just obtained, and she aims to keep it that way. Jessie asks, then why are you here? Cassidy replies, simple. Your new orders. Jessie thinks, great. She's going to send me to somewhere else, just to rot away. Cassidy tells Jessie she is to head south to Slateport City and then to catch a ferry to Pacific Lockdown. But you won't be going alone. Jessie asks, what do you mean? Cassidy says, with a bit of irritation in her voice, you can come in now. Jessie looks. There stands Agent 009, the Black Tulip, Domino. Domino enters the room. Jessie asks why she isn't Hoenn. The boss only sends her out when he thinks that the situation is severe. Cassidy tries to speak, but is cut off by Domino. That's right. You see, some new information has recently come to light about Team Aqua and Magma. And you see, the boss is hard-pressed to say that the job is being done here in Hoenn is in the best interest of Team Rocket. As such, now Butch, Cassidy, you, and anyone else working for Team Rocket in Hoenn will be reporting directly to me. Jessie is a bit relieved. Although she doesn't like the idea of a chaperone, it seems Cassidy doesn't either, so this could keep Cassidy off of Jessie's case, for now anyway. Jessie asks, so what are we going to do next? Domino orders Cassidy to get the base clean and operation at once. Then she needs to staff it like it is supposed to be, or she will face the consequences. Domino then tells Jessie that they are going to Mauville City to check out the area of New Mauville, and they leave at once. This is perfect for Jessie. She wanted to go there anyway to battle Wattson, but she has to lose Domino, at least for a few hours. The two set out for Mauville, and once they arrive, they check into the Pokemon Center. Jessie tells Domino they should rest their Pokemon, as they don't know when they would have a chance to do it again. Domino tells Jessie that she doesn't have any Pokemon. She doesn't need them. She doesn't need to rely on them, and she can get by on her own. Jessie just shrugs. Okay. And as the two are eating, discussing plans for New Mauville, Jessie and Domino overhear some talks about how they had heard rumors that Team Magma was in Mauville City. Jessie thinks, perfect. She somehow convinces Domino that it would be in the best interest of Team Rocket that if they split up, one to check out New Mauville, the other one to check out the rumors of Team Magma. Domino agrees. She assigns Jessie the task of investigating the room in the city of Mauville, while she goes to check out New Mauville. Jessie loves this idea, as while she's investigating the rumors, she can investigate them at the gym. The next morning, the two get ready to head out. But before doing so, Jessie stops Domino and says, here. Jessie gives her a Pokeball and tells her, I know you don't like to use them, but just in case you run into trouble, that this could help you out. Domino looks at it, doesn't say a word, grabs the ball, and walks off. Jessie did this because if Domino's doesn't need it, then at the very least, she could earn some bonus points, which she desperately needs right now. As then, she goes to investigate at the gym. Once arriving at the gym, Wattson greets her and asks if she is here for another rematch. Jessie says yes, but first, she needs to speak with Wattson's assistant, Watt. Watt, surprised by this, asks Jessie what she needs. Jessie asks Watt if he knows anything about Pokedexes. He says a little. Jessie asks, great, maybe you can help me. My Pokedex was damaged recently, and it has been registering Pokemon that she hasn't caught. I was wondering if there's any way to turn off that function until I can get it fixed or replaced. Watt tells Jessie, oh yeah, you can do that. Let me take a look. He goes into the settings to try and turn it off, but there's a problem. It is password protected. Watt asks Jessie for the password, and Jessie says she doesn't know it. Watt tells Jessie that he can override it, but it'll take some time. Wattson chimes in, great. While he's doing that, we can have our battle. Jessie and Wattson get started. Wattson sends in Voltorb. This is different for Jessie. The last two times she challenged Wattson, he led with Magneton, and she couldn't put it down. But she is okay with this, and she sends in Seviper. And the battle gets underway. It does take some time, but Jessie is able to put down Voltorb as Seviper now knows Dig. Wattson is impressed. Jessie has become a lot stronger since their last battle. Wattson puts the pressure on and sends in Manectric. Jessie decides to recall Seviper and now sends in Loudred. The battle between the two of them is a fierce one, neither one wanting to give any ground. But in the end, Loudred does fall to Manectric, so Jessie sends back in Seviper. But Manectric is tired from the battle with Loudred. Jessie knows this and uses it to her advantage. Wattson orders Manectric to use Quick Attack. Jessie orders Dig to dodge, and then Seviper follows up with a Poison Tail. This puts down Manectric. This leaves Wattson with just one Pokemon, and he sends in Magneton. This hits a nerve with Jessie, but Wattson tells her he's impressed. She's made it this far. This battle has been won for the record books. Wattson wants Jessie to bring her best. Jessie realizes he's right. She's done better now than ever. Jessie orders Seviper to use Bind, but it does get caught with a Thunderbolt. Seviper is down, but not out. Jessie then orders a Dig, which connects, but then is met with a Sonic Boom, knocking Seviper out. Jessie is in a spot. She didn't think she would get this far, but she can't give in now. She pulls out her last Pokeball and sends in. Over with Domino, she is arriving by boat to New Mauville. Domino is there acting like a tourist, trying to blend in to tour New Mauville. As she suspected, there are signs of Team Magma here, and she deviates from the tour to investigate further. As she gets deeper into the facility, she is confronted by Team Magma, and they have cornered Domino. She prides herself on being able to get out of tight places, but then she is recognized by the admin, Tabitha. He knows who she is and what she is about, and he will not be letting her out of here. Tabitha calls for any Magma agents that can come provide assistance. Domino realizes she is in a tight spot. Domino struggles to avoid Magma Grunts and their Pokemon, but just can't clear them all. Domino is starting to become overwhelmed, but then she remembers the Pokeball that Jessie gave her. She doesn't like it, but she has no choice. Domino throws the ball. Back at the gym, Jessie's final Pokemon is the one the old Ruin Man gave her, a Claydol. Jessie knows this is her chance. Wattson calls for a Sonic Boom, but Jessie uses it to create a Sand Tomb, which traps Magneton. Jessie doesn't want to lose this chance, and she calls for a Hyper Beam. Wattson tries to counter with a Zap Cannon, but Magneton can't get the move off, and the Hyper Beam connects with an explosion. Back in New Mauville, Domino, with her back to the wall, sends in the Pokemon Jessie gave her. It's Dustox. Domino is at first disgusted by it, but then Domino realizes Dustox can handle large groups of foes, and she uses this to her advantage, to create a distraction with Whirlwind and Stun Spore. She makes her escape back to the boat, back to the group who is boarding the boat back to Mauville City. Back at the gym, as the dust settles, Claydol stands, but Magneton falls. Jessie can't believe it. Finally, after weeks of hardship, she has finally leveled up. All of her struggles have come to an end. Wattson presents Jessie with the Dynamo badge, and then Watt approaches Jessie with her Pokedex. He tells her it was difficult, but he was able to get through the password. Jessie can now disable the register function. But Watt tells Jessie this Pokedex is unlike anything he has ever seen before. This Pokedex has a built-in GPS to track you, and it also has a hidden section that I couldn't access. Whoever made this didn't want someone unauthorized to access it. Jessie thanks Watt for the help. At the very least, she can prevent them from tracking the new Pokemon she catches. But if there's a GPS, then why didn't Cassidy use it to her advantage? Maybe she didn't know. Jessie thanks Watt and Wattson for the battle, and then heads to the Pokemon Center. Back at the center, Jessie meets up with Domino. Domino asks Jessie if she was able to find out any new leads. Jessie tells Domino that they were all dead ends. What about you? Domino explains that she had a run-in with Team Magma. Then she does something Jessie didn't expect. Domino thanks Jessie. She tells Jessie that without Dustox, she would have been able to make it out of there. She then makes a request of Jessie. She asks Jessie if she wouldn't mind if she held on to Dustox for a while. Jessie is surprised. Domino is asking, not demanding. Domino tells Jessie once they have figured out what Team Magma and Aqua are up to, she can have it back. Jessie thinks if she says no, she could be punished. But if she says yes, then it could give her favor with Domino. Jessie says yes, of course. Why not? We need to do everything we can to prevent Team Aqua and Magma's plans. Domino agrees. As a reward, Domino grants Jessie one request of her choice. Jessie is taken back by this. So she asks Domino for one simple thing: to travel and investigate Team Aqua and Magma alone. It would be more efficient, and they can cover more territory while looking for Team Aqua and Team Magma. After some thought, Domino agrees. After all, Jessie's actions to this point have seemed to be on the level, and Team Rocket seems to have her full support. Domino grants her request. Jessie can act of her own accord from here on out. The only person she will report to is Domino directly. Internally, Jessie is celebrating. Now she has a free pass, and she will have Cassidy off her back indefinitely. Domino tells Jessie she is heading out right away. She has to make it to Pacific Logtown. Jessie is left to her own devices. Now we switch over to James. After his win at the Fort Tree Gym, he has been making his way to Mount Pyre. Along the way, James has been doing what he can for training. James has had a few encounters with some wild Pokemon, but one in particular has caught his attention. A wild Meditite. It has been attacking James while camping. James has entered its territory, and after a tough battle with Meditite and Masquerain, James throws a Pokeball and is able to catch it. Just as the sun starts to rise over the horizon, revealing Mount Pyre. And that's it for this one. What do you guys think? What do you think about the introduction of Domino? Or how about the win at the Mauville gym for Jessie and her new Claydol? And of course, what do you think about James and his new catch? I know this one was kind of short, but I want to know what you guys have to think about it in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for your support. If you like the content that I'm providing, please don't forget to subscribe. And also, don't forget to leave a like, as it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm and helps my content get to a bigger audience to help the channel grow. I will see you in the next video.